Oh, that took forever. Okay, welcome. We are live. Welcome to another episode of Chiropractic is Sexy. I am Dr. Paula Ruffin.
And I am Dr. Erica Peabody, and we're happy to be here yet again. Another week, another podcast. Make sure you're liking, subscribing. Who's out there anyway? Tell us about you.
Thank you for saying that because we are not saying that enough. So each and every week, we want you to come on in, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you are lurking, even more reason to hit that thumbs up button, leave a comment. The only way we grow is when YouTube knows that people like what we're doing. So
good morning, Silly Lily. Thank you for
Hi,
always
Lily.
being here. And yes, there are a lot of people. There's a lot of people actually telling me about, I saw your podcast. So if you're here, send us a hello in the comments. And if you have any
lurking. No lurking.
We're here for it.
At least hit the thumbs up. I mean, don't just watch, like that's voyeurism, subscribe even, maybe something, help us out here. Like, I know this is free content. Oh, I mean, we just did 3 weeks of all the free things you can do to improve your health.
Oh, and listen to us.
We completely forgot. Listen to us. It is free. So the ghetto hippie, you're always lurking, but you're so good about making comments. Yes. So the only payment that we're asking of you is to like and subscribe. So
love that.
Hi, Mary Lou. Mary Lou's on YouTube today. Mary Lou's usually coming in from Facebook.
Yes, thank you for sharing. But yes, it is. So even just tapping in with us on the weekly is free. And the stuff that we're doing, the reason we're here is to make sure that you have applicable, up-to-date, progressive, forward, just making sure that your health progresses, your life progresses, that you have a healthy life, not just a life. There's this great new song. I saw a Broadway musical, and it was saying it's good to be living and not just alive, or it's good to be, it's worth living, or life's worth living, but it's more than living rather than just being alive. So we know if you're that kind of person, you're here with us. So
love it. Well, and I think too, so we want to kick this off. It is allergy season, and we have to talk about what this means for you. And I want to just tell a quick story as an example of what chronic health, and I believe that allergies are a chronic health issue. So this is when it gets to be this season, people start to take Claritin, Zyrtec, all of those drying agents, and we're going to talk about all the things that dries out. And so we start taking that either because we're afraid to get our sniffle. And this is going to feed back into that story we were talking about last week or a couple of weeks ago, Erica, about getting steroids, antibiotics, all of that stuff. Or you get a sniffle and you decide, oh yeah, now I have to start taking this stuff or something even harsher. And I've been having this conversation a lot lately. I was talking to Mary Lou about this morning, and talking about how because I've been in practice for so long, and you as well, so you probably see this as well, over my 28 years and your 20 plus years of practice, is that we have seen people historically, when they are older, we are able to dig deep into their past and see that they have struggled with all of these chronic health issues. And we only see it compound and progress as they get older. And I am seeing a serious amount of neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia. And so I promise you, if you are struggling with allergies, that is a chronic health issue. And if you think you're just managing it just fine, it is damaging your gut. It is damaging your whole microbiome. It's damaging your physiology. It's damaging your neurology. And if it's not improving, you got to do the things to get it to improve, or it is only going to degenerate even further. So I'm going to kind of drop it right there. But that is exactly what we're looking at, is that this is not just a seasonal thing. We were talking about a freaking lifetime of damage that will build up and cause something even worse down the road. And I don't think that's
no, it's great. And all of these things, a lot of these things are available over the counter now, which they used to be a prescription, and it would only be prescribed for maybe like 2 to 4 weeks, and then that would be it. Now, because you can get it on the shelf, it seems to be safer, right? But I do want to preface all of this, because we are going to go into all the detrimental ways that the allergies are a signal of the body being overwhelmed by normal things in our environment. And I want to preface this by saying we both have access to incredible supplementation that you need to, and I'm saying this with like across the board, and I'll stand up and say this loudly: you need to get off your allergy medication. We have safer options, and there's supplements that don't tear apart the liver, don't dry out all your organs, tissues, and glands and muscles and joints, and super duper helpful. So
don't forget the vagina.
I know you always want to talk about that, which I get it, but it's not, we're chiropractors. We don't go up there anyway, but that is part of it. But I just want you guys to know that Apex and Metagenics and Standard Process and all of the higher level supplementation that Dr. Paula and I have and have access to are things that are not going to rob Peter to pay Paul. So we're going to talk about all the things, but I just want to let you know, when you say, I don't know how to get off of this, I think sometimes we forget that people don't realize we have superpower supplementation that really help all the way around without being a deterrent and detrimental to the body. So keep that in mind. I have a great one here in the office called Histo X. It's from Apex. I have people take it twice a day for 2 weeks, and then as needed. And it's good to get off of that stuff. It's good to get off your allergy medication and say, do I really need this? Because it used to be seasonally. Now people are coming into our offices and they've been taking it for 365 days a year. And when allergies aren't even around, and they're just taking it and taking it and taking it. And it's inappropriate. It's inappropriate management of allergies now.
For sure. There's so many different herbs. Ghetto Hippie is saying, could it be caused by toxic metal buildup? It absolutely could be.
Absolutely.
Overall, what this next comment, if immune systems were healthy, that's what we're talking about, is that we create damage because of our toxic world, and then poor diets, and we're not staying well hydrated, and we're not getting sleep, and we're not getting properly adjusted, and our immune systems struggle. And so, yes, our goal is not to cure allergies. Our goal is to improve your body's ability to heal itself, and that includes the immune system. And so if we remove the interference to all of that through chiropractic care, through good proper nutrition, through good hydration, then your immune system will function better. Your body will fight these things off. It won't have such an alarmist reaction when it comes to the normal things in the environment, because how many people, and even in the same family, have allergies, but like your brother or sister doesn't get affected as much as you do, or your mom and dad, or, you know, you can see differences within the same family. So this is not genetic. This is 100% environmental inside the body, and too much interference causing the immune system to struggle. So no, we are not curing allergies. We are telling you how to put the power back into your body so it can cure itself.
Okay, so we can go back to the backpack. So we've got a backpack on, and we're putting, and so this is a great question. Are deficits in nutrition causing the issues? Yes, and toxicities are as well. So if we're putting all this stuff into our backpack and we're just loading it up, and we're not getting enough rest, we're not getting enough water, we're not eating like we should, we're not taking proper supplementation, we're not getting adjusted, all of that. So our backpack gets overloaded, and now we're like lugging this thing around, and our nervous system is like, if you put one more thing in here, we're going to have a reaction. And so that's why, as we're chiropractors, we take these things out of the backpack. And when you're having allergies, you're having mucus, sneezing, coughing, phlegm everywhere, rashes, and all of that, it's because your body and each one of your cells has said, I am at my limit for stress. All of this stuff is going to come out now because I can't hold my system's completely overwhelmed. And then you add in, like I just think about like dairy products, for instance. If we have a lot of dairy often leads to asthma, allergies, and acne, those three things. Doesn't mean it always will, but it's always going to be adding to your phlegm, right? It's a phlegm producing product. So if we can take that dairy out of there, or I'm never going to totally get rid of dairy. We can take that out of there. We're going to be producing less phlegm. We can take the McDonald's out of there. We can take this out of there. We can take processed foods out of there. Then our cells aren't like, oh, we're going to blow. And then we've got this whole thing. And then we put the kibosh on that whole system by taking a drying agent. And that agent isn't just for your sinuses, like Dr. Paula said. It's every single tissue in the body. And so long-term, I'm just going to make this completely related. Long-term allergy medication usage leads to low back pain. That is a direct correlation because the discs in the spine get completely dried out from your allergy medication. Your joints start to hurt. Your hips start to hurt. Your knees start to get crepitus. Your shoulders aren't moving right. You're stiffened everywhere. And then, of course, all of your mucous membranes too, and your reproductive organs, and all the things. It doesn't just focus on the face. And I get it. I grew up with cats. I'm completely allergic to cats. Didn't know that until I moved out of the house. And I get it. It's a miserable existence. But take some of the things out of the backpack, add quercetin, vitamin C, vitamin D, lots of water, electrolytes, and all the things in it starts to help support that. And then we no longer are overreactionary to our environment.
Yeah, I always keep quercetin. Another one of my favorites is N-acetylcysteine, which is NAC. And NAC is NAC was actually removed. We had trouble finding it because it was so effective at killing viruses that it was removed from the market a few years ago during a certain pandemic because it worked so effectively. Mm-hmm. So I stocked up. So NAC is excellent. It's an amazing immune support. And nettle would be another one as well. And nettle helps with the inflammation of the mucous membranes. So we can tell you, even if you just had a couple of these products on hand, and again, you don't have to take them every single day. You take them as needed. Maybe you take them for a couple of days. But if you are also having like this chronic that, now mine is due to mold toxicity. Okay, so don't judge me. But a lot of people have this constant need to clear their throat. It's the constant mucus. And when you constantly are sinusy and congested and mucousy, that is also a gut issue. So your gut is completely out of balance. Your microbiome is completely altered. And you have all of these, it's all about the biology. You have all of these microbes that are sending toxic signals up to your brain, and it manifests as mucus. And so anytime you are over mucused in your head, you 100% have a gut issue until proven otherwise. Right. So it's really important to take that into account, because then when you continue to take these antihistamines, guess what you're doing? You're continuing to compound the damaging effects in your gut. So it's really difficult to heal a gut in an environment that's continually killing things that need to be there in order for you to heal. So 90% of your immune system's in your gut too. So if we're trying to build immune function and immune health, we have to heal the gut. We have to heal the nervous system. We have to get rid of all of the toxins that are adding to it. Like Dr. Erica said, the foods, the sugars, and then put all the good things in it. And for God's sakes, most of us are walking around completely dehydrated to begin with. And if you just hydrated, if we just hydrated, we'd be
we'd be way
a much better world.
Right?
Yeah.
I was thinking about the histamine response. So if you can dilute, if you think about this, you're having a major histamine response. If you can dilute the histamine response by getting super hydrated, that is also so super helpful. If you are taking an antihistamine, so your body is doing all of the things that it's doing inside of that reaction, because that's the body being smart. It's never making a mistake. We talked about that. We should probably go back to that, to the body's never making a mistake. But if you so your body's doing this histamine response, it's going crazy a little bit. Then you put an antihistamine on it. Yes, you feel better. But then when that antihistamine falls off or wears off, you actually have a rebound effect. So you started here, you got an antihistamine, then it rebounded and it came up higher further. Then you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. You're going to have a bigger and bigger and bigger bounce back rebound effect, which is then going to make you want more and all of those kinds of things. So it is not without major detriments that you add those things into the body. Like, we can't do that and not have a downward spiral effect. And when you get adjusted, I know Dr. Paula's seen this on her table over the 28 years that she's been in practice. Like, people are like, oh my God, I can breathe out of my nose again. They say this like instantaneously. It's because the interference in the neck that's going to the sinuses, that's one of the rocks we just took out of the backpack. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I'm free flowing again. And then I'm like, okay, now when you leave here, it's not because of everything outside. Now go drink your water. Make sure you're getting your rest, going back to those 6 things: eat well, move well, think well, get your rest, get your water, and get adjusted, which we talk about ad nauseum. And this will help you get through allergy season, because then people say, well, I got this allergy response, and then I got a sinus infection from it. And then from that sinus infection, then I took antibiotics and an antihistamine. And then and it's destroying the gut, which is where all of this is coming from. Anyway, it's a disaster.
There's people will also say, I'm pulling up a document here. People will also say, I had allergy testing done and I'm allergic to everything. And just to address that really quickly, is that most of the time when people get allergy testing done in the traditional allergist's office, they're getting the scratch test, and that is IgA. So you have these proteins, these immunoglobulins, and they're all, I liken them to the armed forces. This is how your immune system works. These immunoglobulins, A, G, E, M, there's a whole bunch of them. They do different things in the body. So IgA is your first line of defense. So think Army, boots on the ground, and then other parts of those proteins, they might be Air Force, and then we have Navy SEALs, and then we have what's another
Marines.
We got Marines. Like, they're all doing different things, but they're all designed to protect the country. And so this is how these proteins are. Well, IgA is that's your immediate response. So that is, I had a patient say to me, everybody in her family growing up, they were all known to have to blow their nose when they ate. And I go, that's an IgA response. I didn't say that to her like that, but that's an IgA response. That's, you eat food, you eat a specific food, you immediately get a runny nose or a scratchy throat, or you break out into hives. And so that's that immediate response. Well, that test is I just say bogus. It's antiquated and it's bogus, because typically, if you eat something, or you can't be around peanuts, like those immediate responses. I can't eat Swiss chard because I immediately get a scratchy throat, so I don't eat it. I know I have an IgA response to that. So it doesn't help you, though, because you get that done, and then it tells you, let's see, share screen, and it tells you, well, you're allergic to pollen and mold, and it tells you all these things that you're allergic to, and you're like, well, what the heck? What can I eat then? And let me go entire screen here and there. And so this particular, I love this graphic. Can you guys see that? Did that pull up okay?
Almost. There we go.
Okay, hold on. Let me go here. Uh-oh. See, I hate when it does that. Why does it do that? Then I have to add it to the stage, right, Ken? No. Well, All right, Ken, I thought I could do it.
Well, you're actually doing pretty good. You had it right the first time.
Good.
Did you add the tab? Are you on one
There you
computer? There
Yeah.
you go.
Oh, there it is. Did I do it?
Yeah,
Okay.
you got it now.
Okay, I just can't see you guys. So I'll go through this and then I'll close it out. So if you look here, this is how important your gut and your food sensitivities are, because this particular, and I've shown this on other podcasts. So if you want this, you guys, you can email me and I can send it to you. But this is typically all this stuff on the left. This is what your IgA will test for. So it tests for all these things. But you're like, okay, what does that mean? Okay, molds and fungal spores. Molds are everywhere right now. But that also means that you could have sensitivities to yeast, which is breads and cereals and processed foods, mushrooms. So anything that is moldy, hard cheeses, coffee and teas are very moldy. There's when we look at the grasses, legumes, a lot of people have sensitivities, food sensitivities and allergies to legumes, beans, peas, apples, carrots, celery, grains, cottonseed oil is in everything. Look at this, the ragweed. Melon, lettuce, banana. How many people are eating bananas every freaking day, having that milk, the eggs, mint, chamomile? So you could absolutely, if you get really bad during when the ragweed is flying, which is coming soon, because I just picked a bunch of it and donated it to a landfill. And Ghetto Hippie, I also picked all my nettle and donated it to a landfill. So just so you know, to answer your comment, I hate that vile weed. I will take it in pill form. I do not want it growing in my yard. Okay. But anyway, so you can see in this list how so much of our food affects this here. So this is really like, if you have a doctor who wants to do a, let me get out of here, remove, there we go, who wants to do an allergy test on you. Let's do that. I like that.
Whoa.
That's fun. That's fun. I like that.
I like that too. Whew. I look extreme close up.
Let's do it. So if you have a doctor that wants to do allergy testing, there's other ways to do it. Don't do the scratch test for a multitude of reasons. We can get into all of that stuff later. But I did want to present that because it could just be the food that you're eating. And that's what we have to drill down on.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, so Silly Lily talks a little bit about digestive enzymes and or balancing the gut flora in one of her comments here. So, okay. So I was thinking about this because the immune system is so involved with the gut that we end up getting inflammation in the gut, and then bigger particles that aren't supposed to be escaping the gut escape the gut. And then the body's trying to figure out what the heck that is. And it responds to that as well. So building up the gut, which is a long process, never ending. And one drug putting into the system can completely undo what you just did over the 6 months time frame. But that's also another rock in the backpack when your body's very responsive and reactive already because the gut isn't doing what it needs to do, which is move things through. It's like letting things leak out. That would be what leaky gut is, basically bigger holes, bigger particles. When those particles are out in our world, inside of our body, we're just going to be naturally more inflammatory everywhere, just to keep that super duper simple. So sometimes it's a digestive enzyme, but more than that, it's the probiotic stuff that you can be doing will build the actual immune system from the gut out. So it'll close up those junctions, it'll allow the body to move things through and not be so reactionary. So yes, it does have a lot to do with that, with the flora, not necessarily the digestive enzymes, if that makes sense.
And we love probiotics. However, understand that there is a multitude of different, probiotics that you can take. So great. If you want to just go to a big box store and get something, that's fine. I would actually, no, it's not fine. I'm just going to say that. You need to reach out to me or Dr. Erica. We both have online stores. We can easily guide you in the right place. There are very specific strains that if you have any kind of chronic allergy, I would put you on what we were talking about earlier, as well as a specific strain of probiotic designed to help the gut in those moments and calm that inflammatory effect in the gut as well as in the mucous membranes of the sinuses. So we can, I mean, I have dozens of probiotics that I can prescribe. So I think a lot of people think that, well, I eat my fermented foods. Great, keep doing that. But you need more than a monoculture. You need a variety of other things. And so keep the fermented foods, but you probably need something more, especially if you're still struggling. And that is, I think, where a lot of people are like, but I eat my Activia every day. But and I'm like, is it working?
No.
You're still having problems, right? Well, yeah, it's sort of like this, they lose track of, oh yeah, I guess it isn't working. Yeah.
Well, also that, and I was listening to, in particular, Women's Health. I can't remember which doc it was listening to her podcast, but she was saying that it's really awesome to focus on 3 probiotic sources per day to keep your biofilm, your gut available for what it needs to be doing. So I think of that as an actual probiotic and to kind of mix things up a little bit, but also like you make your own yogurt. I've been able to get my hands on a Bulgarian yogurt with like a high probiotic and then some sauerkraut every day. So those 3 things, just a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but 3 sources of that leads to clearer everything, including your immune system, but clearer skin, clearer eyes, clearer brain, clearer cells in general, all across the board. And so I just have been having that in the back of my mind for the last month. What are my 3 probiotic sources today? And I don't always get them in, but it's like, I know that, okay, so I'm going to have some eggs. I'll just put some sauerkraut on it, or I'll put some particular like sauces and different things on it. I'll take a probiotic and I'll maybe have like a little half a serving of kombucha or something like that, So I just loved that. I'm keeping that in the forefront of my mind for all the things every day.
Mm-hmm. And if you can get your prebiotics, which are your bitter greens, your garlic, onions, those are the compounds that actually feed your probiotics. So if you're taking your probiotics, you need to be able to support them and make sure that they have staying power and longevity. So those prebiotics are important too. It's really supporting the gut through the whole pathway. And your stomach enzyme. Well, I'll finish this real quick. So then what I would typically do is I would put people on a digestive enzyme for the stomach acid. Oftentimes, if you go into the store, you look for a digestive enzyme, you'll get a pancreatic enzyme, which is awesome. Great, take that too. But we have to start at the stomach because it's got to break down there so that then your pancreatic enzymes later in the digestive tract can work better. They can do their job better. So I would often, if people don't want to take another pill, I would have them take a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in a little bit of water before a meal. And that will increase the stomach acid, which will allow them to start breaking down their food better.
Yeah. I was just thinking, like, as you say, prebiotic, people are like, oh my gosh, am I learning one more thing? But I really look at it like, okay, you're putting probiotics into the system through capsule form, through all the things you're doing, right, that we just talked about. And the prebiotic are what's at the dinner table for them in the gut. So they're like, oh, cool, we're all here. But like now we need to get them to colonize and stay a while. So we have to feed them. Otherwise, they're just going to be inside the inflammatory cycle and spiral that is already the gut before you start doing all this work. And so the prebiotics are like, okay, guys, now that we're here, here's some food. Why don't you hang out for a while? We're just going to do this like party thing in here and we're going to stick around and then we're going to actually make this our home now. And we're going to start to line the gut wall and help absolutely everything from there on out. We can actually go around in our world and look at people and tell their gut health just by the way their body presents, the way their eyes look, the way their skin looks, and their overall vitality is so dependent on the health of the gut. So yeah,
it is really
too much. We know way too much.
I know.
We go over to the store.
We're not judgy, but we are.
Yeah. We are
Like,
pretty judgy.
we're judgy, not judgy, or like, did you see that person? How do you think that person?
I know.
Like,
And like, how are they looking like that and still making this choices of what's in their cart? And we're only saying this that we're judgy because we really want the best for everybody. And how can you not see that this, when you put like the Mountain Dew, like you got that 8 case and you like put it on the side of the cart, and then it's all processed food in their cart. Actually, one day I was leaving the grocery store. I've said this before, but I'll share it again. I was leaving the grocery store and I was just looking at the person and the stuff that they were checking out with. And it was like TV dinners and, just a lot of like processed everything. And I took a picture of it just because I was like, don't be this person.
judgy.
But then I looked up and it was actually one of my patients.
Oh,
And so, which is fine. I mean, here's the thing. We're just going to be talking here and teaching here ad nauseum, whether you want to listen to us or not. But I can tell you, if you're eating really good food, you're staying hydrated, getting your rest, getting your movement, when you come in to get adjusted, you're going to have a much easier response to chiropractic care. You're going to have a much easier ability to heal from the healing response that the adjustment, when it's given, the healing response starts. You're going to have an easier response. It's actually going to be cost effective for you because you're going to get through extensive, intense part of care quicker because your body's going to heal faster. And if you would just start listening to us, we'll solve all your problems. I'm just kidding. But truly, your healing is improved the more you improve all that.
So I think it's also just starting to ask yourself the questions. Do you self-medicate regularly when it seasonally? Like we've already had multiple conversations about like the headaches and the joint pains because we're going into golfing season. So just saying, if you're taking Advil, just in case you get sore, like we have a problem. But we're talking about allergies now. And Dr. Eric and I had a conversation. I don't know if we brought this up on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, but it was a young girl who, had a sinus infection. And one of the problems that we face in our society today is that we have been trained, they, you, not us, but maybe not you, but we'll see. So we have been trained that when we get a little bit of a sniffle, we start to get a runny nose. Oh, I better run and go get a Z-Pak, which is harsh steroids, just in case it turns into a sinus infection. Or if you're the person that says, if I get a sniffle, if I don't go get a Z-Pak, it will turn into a sinus infection. These are things that we have been trained. And if that is your narrative, if that actually happens, then you need to reach out to us because that is not normal. That is not normal. And for you to go and destroy your gut and destroy your immune system every time you get a sniffle, listen, the body is doing what it's supposed to do. If you get a sniffle and you have to blow your nose, that is what you need to allow your body to do in order to get through it. It's your body's trying to get rid of shit. So let it get rid of it. Like, don't stop it up and dry it up. You're only prolonging the process and creating more damage in the long run.
It's so true. And I think about sinus infection, and it's like, whatever that is for people, I'm sorry, sinus infections are not scary. Like, no, that is not, it sucks for sure. But if you give your body the right amount of time and you're doing the other things to boost yourself, you do not, like, sinus infection is not an end all be all, and people do not die from sinus infections. Okay. And a lot of us I've had sinus infections. Everybody's had a sinus infection at one point or another. Guess what? You get cool green boogers blowing out your sinus and going down the back of your throat. And then your body is fighting it. And so when it gets a chance to fight it, it will recognize it the next time and it will be able to fight it as well. And if you've got 3 days of a sinus infection, how about do another 3 before you throw something super gnarly at it that's going to destroy the rest of your body? And take care of yourself for sure. So people say, oh, I didn't feel well, so I took the afternoon off, or I took the day and I was just home. Like, Dr. Paula and I do that a lot, especially the weekends rolls around. It's like, I just feel like my body might need a little extra rest. Get some extra rest then. Like extra rest. That's what we need
Because
to
maybe that's why you're sick.
Yeah.
You're driving yourself into the ground.
You throw an antibiotic at it, it doesn't just go to the sinuses, it goes and destroys the gut again. Then you've got 8 more months minimum to start to rebuild what you just did in that with that Z-Pack or whatever in the heck you threw after it. It's got 8 months. If you just waited 3 more days and let your body work with it and boost it and do all the things, you don't have 8 months worth of repair work to do. Yeah. Right there is like enough to just manage it, manage yourself.
And you know what I mean? Green snot does not always mean it's an infection.
Then you're not going to be dying from it.
No, you're going to be just fine. Yeah. And I'm sure there's going to be somebody on here that's going to be like, oh no, my cousin's whatever, blah, 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 died of a sinus infection. Somebody's going to say that, like, whatever, I'm, sell it somewhere else, not on this channel.
No, it doesn't. It just doesn't work like that. I mean,
no.
The other part, you can't ignore it, right? But it's best to like do some neti pot. I drown in a neti pot. I cannot do neti pot. I'm going to try it again now that I'm a little bit older.
I recommend it all the time, and I can't do it either.
I know. So I
do as I say, not as I do.
I know. I can't do it.
Not as I don't do.
It just means what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be chugging a ton of water. I'm going to be getting in the sauna. I'm going to be getting, heating the body up in whatever way I can. I'm going to be taking baths with essential oils. I'm going to be doing all the things because I would rather let my body keep blowing out the green crap coming out of what feels like my brain and replenishing it with all the freshness that I possibly can to be able to keep moving it through. So,
and guess what? If you don't have a fever, you don't have an infection.
Yeah.
It's just kind of how the body works.
Have a fever, good for your body.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Don't be afraid of snot.
Yeah.
Literally, snot is your friend.
Coming from a woman who drank out of a horse trough, right?
I did. Totally did. That was awesome.
Just give me all this stuff. Actually, some of our colleagues,
it was cold, it was refreshing. It just came up from a fresh spring. It was so great.
Love it. No, it all really boosts the immune system. It builds the immune system. Getting adjusted boosts the immune system by, exponential amounts of boosting of the immune system when you get adjusted. It's awesome. Go get 2 adjustments that week or 3 adjustments that week and let your body fight hard. And you're going to get through it. You're going to be better off for it. You're going to have less response to the environment because of that. Yeah. So anyway, mic drop. I don't know. Maybe that kind of finish it up with that.
Yeah, I think it's great. So so just start asking yourself, start paying attention to if this is something that happens to you regularly every year, spring and fall. And if you find yourself medicating because you just have been conditioned to think that it's normal and it's not normal. So we're not here to necessarily criticize you because listen, it is very strong marketing out there in the world. And we understand that. And we are here to unbrainwash you and get you to the right levels of health and wellness so that you can get to the proper levels of healing without putting more damaging things into your bodies. So there's that. Yes. Lily says, can't remember the last time I had a fever. That's amazing. And since spring has sprung, get out and get sunshine and fresh air for sure. There's no excuse anymore, except it's freaking cold here in Michigan still.
It is a little chilly, but we have been getting out just a little bit.
It's chilly, Lily.
Okay, bye, you guys. Have the best week.
Right. Have an amazing week, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for being here. Like, subscribe, all the things.